Hello everyone, welcome back to the XSP Green Monster channel. My name is Riley and this channel is all about my 1997 Chevrolet Suburban, the audio build I have in it, and my mechanic work on the car. Not really mechanic work, just my kind of weekend warrior stuff that I do on the car. Today I'm going to be talking about the DD Audio DSI-1 tuner. I did a previous video on this. I haven't done a follow-up video just because I'm happy with where it's tuned right now, and I don't have an RTA or a meter to go back and test it. So I was trying to do some research online, so I had as much information as possible about the tuner, about the digital signal processor starting this, but I realized that there wasn't much online or on YouTube about it, so I thought I would make another video on it going a little bit more into depth about the features and how it operates. So that's what this video is going to be about. This video is going to be about the digital signal processor and what it does, its features, and kind of just a general basic how to use it. If you don't know, this is a DD Audio product, I believe new off their site. It is $400, I think. I'm not actually sure, let me check. I think I can check on that right now. I don't know, I'd have to go to a dealer, but off their site, I think it's $400, it might be $600, but I believe it's $400 off their site, brand new or from a dealer. They don't sell off their site, you have to go through a dealer, but is a digital signal processor. A digital signal processor takes in signals, you can cross over them through it, it'll clean up the signals a little bit, and then it sends it back out to your amplifiers. So it basically gives you another setup of tuning besides just your head unit or something else, basically an inline processor. They can be extremely helpful, especially if you're going for Cyclone or if you just are looking for a little bit better sound quality. So you can put this in just your daily driver, your sound quality vehicle, and you can boost your signal, you can adjust gains, you can do everything from this. I'm going to run over that in a little bit. So that's basically what it is. I'm going to jump right in, I'm going to move the camera around, look at my computer screen, and we'll jump right in. I'm going to run through the installation manual. You are welcome to go find this on DD Audio if you just go to their DSI-1 product, and it has the user manual on their PDF version of it. I'm going to run through it because I know that some people just like watching videos on this stuff instead of going on and finding it, and that's completely fine. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I enjoy watching videos instead of going online and trying to find stuff about it, especially if it's good information. So I'm going to try and do a very informative, just an information video on the DD Audio DSI-1. Okay, so here is kind of the first page of the DD Audio DSI-1. This is the user manual right there. If you go onto their website, here is their website, and I hope this all comes through okay on the camera, but this is it. So we're just going to run through a user manual, I'm going to show you, and then I also have the program pulled up, and I will show you on the program what all this stuff means. So we got the introduction and everything. I'm basically running through his features and specifications on here. So as a graphical user interface option, which is basically this is a graphical user interface, which some of them don't, some of the inline processors don't, as adjustable link widths, Butterworth crossovers, which have adjustable slopes from 6, 12, 24, 36 decibels. I'm not going to go into the super specifics of what this stuff is and how it works. I'm just going to kind of run over how to use this, because a big part of using these things is just kind of messing with your system and figuring out what you like with it, or using an RTA and really getting that very precise tuning. It has an adjustable 10-band parametric equalizer, which is basically when you go through and you can adjust the levels of everything. It's 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, plus or minus 15 dB with a Q factor, which I'm not actually sure what that Q factor is, but has it. Phase adjustment, obviously, in all of them. 2, 4, 6 channel analog RCA input, 8 channel RCA analog output with a 3 volt RMS. You have an auxiliary 2 channel analog input, SPDIF digital optical input for anyone that wants to use digital optical. You can run that on here as RCA input sensitivity from 0.5 volts to 22 volts. Selectable high-low level input and high-level to RCA adapters are included. And time alignment from 0 to 168.2 milliseconds, and a power supply input voltage of 8 to 16 volts. So any high volt guys that are running 16 plus volts, this definitely wouldn't be the one for you without using a step down. So going on here, I'm going to run through some of this stuff as well. You can see here's the front of the unit as you get it. It is about, there you go, 202 millimeters by 119.4 by 43.5, which means it's roughly around 8 inches long. This is very rough. by 2 inches tall-ish, just under 2 inches tall, probably 1 3/4 inches, and then probably about 5 inches wide to 4 inches wide. Now you can see here on one side you have your remote, you have your B+, I don't know if you can see that, but this is remote right here on this left side. It comes with a little Molex connector that you plug into this, which is nice. If you could watch my other video, I did an installation of it, which I will link in this video right here, as well as just me using it in my vehicle, which I'll also link as a remote out, which I really like, and then it's ground. This is remote in, remote out, power, ground. And it has auxiliary ins, auxiliary R, which I'm not sure what that means. Oh, sorry. Auxiliary left and auxiliary right if you're plugging in a phone or something. You got your 3 channels of input here, so it takes 6 channels. Your 3 RCA inputs here. So on mine, I'm running bass into 1 and 2, and I have my Sky High Car Audio Premium 4 channel going into 3, 4, 5, and 6. And it has 8 channel output, and it has your RS-485 connection, which is kind of like a computer plug if you've seen those, and that just goes to your optional control. I'm trying to think about what that's called. It goes to your optional control. Then you have the PC USB connection, which you can plug your computer into from there, and then it has your optical input there. And power lights, obviously. And here's the GUI configuration, and then there's not much else I'm going to talk about in here, so I'm just going to bring up the user interface now so I can show you. So in your the interface, when you first come in, you're going to have to click on log in, and you're going to have to log into the program. I can't remember exactly how you do that, but I believe the password is just like 0000 when you begin or something along those lines, and you can change it. To get this, the only way I know to get this program is to actually email DD Audio, and they will get back to you very quickly, and they will send you the link where you can download this. Now, in terms of what this is capable of, so the first thing is you have your in. This is what you're going to be affecting. So this is what you plug into your DSI-1. This is how you're going to change all of your settings. So this is going to change the channel that you are affecting right here. This is the output channel that you are affecting. So you look right here, you can see all the output channels. You can change between channel 7, 8, channel 5, 6, channel 3, 4, and channel 1, 2, and this is what that's actually reading. So for channel 1, 2, you can have in 1-2, and that will mean that the RCA is going into 1, 2 on the input side. The signal will go to channels 1, 2 on the output side. You can have in 1+2, which means it just combines the signal and it doesn't do any equalizing within the program or any cleanup of the signal, and leaves them, it actually outputs them in mono instead of stereo. So if you're running subwoofers, you always want to have it on a 1+2 up there, which is hard to see, but that's where you want to have it up here, as on an in 1+2 instead of on a 1/2 or a 3+4, whatever you want to run it. You want to have the plus if you're running it to subwoofers so they don't operate out of phase, causing detrimental explosion of your subwoofer. You can also choose just have in 1, which means it'll just go in the first channels. 2, you can have channels 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6 all going to channel 1 if you want. And 3, 4 has different options, so not all of them are capable with all the inputs. Like channel 7, 8, I believe, yeah, it can only go 1, 2, 3, 4. Channel 5, 6 can go all the way out to 5 and 6, but it will not do in on 3, channel 3 or channel 4. Channel 3 and channel 4 will do in 1 and 2, 3, 4. And channel 1, 2 is the only channel that you can actually have input from all of the channels, but not individually. And you'll kind of see this when you go into the program, that you can only select a certain amount of channels, and that's just because of the way it runs. But channel 7, 8 is kind of a special one where you can only have 1, 2, 3, or 4 as the input for the channel 7 and 8. Now with this, you also have the option to change your sensitivity. So this is your input voltage into the thing, and this will obviously change your gain going out to the amplifiers. So if you know that you're around 4.56 volts coming in, you want to choose that. And if you go to, you can also slide it right here, and I believe you can type in numbers as well. If it's 5 point, you cannot type in numbers, never mind. You also have a low and a high input option. Low input should be 0 to 3.54. High should be 3.54 to 22.334. Now, you also have which you want to come in. If you want to come in through main inputs, the aux A or the aux D. So that will just decide where you're coming in from, if you're coming in from a phone or if you're coming in from the actual channel inputs. This attenuate, there it is. This attenuate is what changes it from a low input to a high input. You can see it goes from 0.5 to 3.155, or the negative 18 will go from 3.54 to 22.34 as your input voltage. Now over here we have overall channel level up in this corner. So this will change the entire level of the channel. So you can change it to higher or to lower the actual power input level. It's kind of like an equalizer for the entire channel, which I don't use too much, but it's okay. Now I'm going to load one of my presets. Which I don't actually know if it saved it, but okay. Well, it's not gonna work, but yeah, so that's all that. You can obviously do 180 degree phase over on this side. So that's gonna be your phase, changing the phase. If you're running your subwoofers inverse instead of normal, you can change it there. And here's where you're selecting the channel that you are actually adjusting. So there you go. Can you adjust 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, or you can adjust them individually. Channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, 4, 5, and so on, all the way up to channel 8. You can turn on and off the equalizer, which is right here, your parametric equalizer. And from here you can obviously change all of the levels. So you can see you can bump up levels. There's +7. You can change which numbers you're actually affecting here. So I could bring down the 63 hertz up to 125, down to 50. So here's where you can really get into, and right here I'd only be affecting channel 5. There's channel 1, 2. So here would be affecting just channel 1, 2. You can see that I can change the actual output levels of the, you can equalize your system. And with equalizing, a good term, a good kind of rule of thumb is that you never want to equalize high. You never want to be boosting a signal, you just want to be minimizing a signal. So if one of your, say your tweeters sound a little bit too loud in the 3000 hertz range, then you want to go through and you just want to bump down the 3000 hertz range. Or if your tweeters sound a little quiet, everything else is loud, then you'd want to bump down everything except for that hertz range. So let's say that right here 3000 hertz sounds a little loud, so we'd bump down everything else just a little bit. And you'd want to do that if you're really getting into this, you want to have an RTA so you can actually see it, and you just want to bump down everything, so then you just have the little bump around the 3 hertz section, which will mean it will equalize the system. Down here you have channel mute, so you can mute channels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. You can mute them all at the same time. You can see the light up over here as well. You can unmute certain channels. You can operate them, you can do just left and right and all sorts of crazy stuff. But that's basically how that works. And then once you get into the channels itself, you can also go to crossovers. So you can turn on your crossover, you can see it just turned it on. You got high pass right here. So say we're doing this for a subwoofer, we want high pass probably at, we'll say 20 hertz for this one with a steep slope, so you're not playing too low. And since it's a subwoofer, you want the low pass right around 100 hertz with a very soft, with another slightly steeper curve. So you can see now I have my subwoofers, and this will be set up on channel 1, 2, and if I go channel 3, 4, turn on the crossover. So say this is our mids, we'd want to set this low, this high pass right about at 100 hertz, and the high end of most of the mids is around 4000. with a softer slope. So then you can lay right there as well. So now we have our channels and 5, 6. We can turn that off. And then we could turn on this for our tweeters and go down to 4,000 as the high pass, and we could turn this just as a high pass right there, you can see, with a soft slope. And on our channel 1, 2, you can also turn this to just a low pass, so then you just have a flat curve going out. And then that's basically all those. Obviously you have Butterworth or Litzworth type crossovers on here, which just affects the shape of the crossover itself. So if you have a preference there, you can do that. And there's also the time delay here. Now with this time delay, all measurements are in millimeters, so you want to go through and you want to measure your speakers to your listening position in millimeters, put in here, and it will actually delay the sound wave by, this is 7.7 milliseconds, so everything is reaching the hearing position at the exact same time. And you can do that obviously for each channel. You gotta remember that when you're doing this, everything you affect here is only affecting the channel that is selected. So 3, 4, you can see it's different than my 1, 2 or my 5, 6. So that's kind of like the basic review of the entire DD Audio DSI-1 GUI, or graphical user interface. And let's see if there's anything else that I missed here. Input, output configurations. I don't think there's anything I missed, so I'm going to put you guys back up towards me, and I'm just going to talk about the DD Audio DSI-1 for a quick second. Alright, now that we're back up here, I'm going to quickly talk about the DD Audio DSI-1, my experience with it, and if I think you should get it. I do think that in any case you should have a digital signal processor in your vehicle. It's a good thing to have, especially if you're going to be competing with your vehicle or if you want the best sound quality. I already have a Pioneer 80 PRS, so I have a lot of control through that already, but I felt like this would be a good way just to make sure that those signals aren't reaching through. I trust the 80 PRS, but I know that these are specifically designed for signal processing, and they'll do a little better job. They'll clean up the signal even more, so you get less noise, less interference through all your cables. Now, the things I like about this is that it's extremely easy to use. It might seem complicated when you first get into it. If you have an RTA, it's going to be very easy to tune this. RTA, if you have a friend that has an RTA, definitely borrow it and you'll be able to see the levels, and it'll make it really easy to adjust all of your crossovers and everything and equalize all of the sound waves. Now, the thing I don't like about it is that it's kind of hard. Like, mine came without the Molex connector. It got lost in shipping. Something happened where I didn't get my Molex connector, and the Molex connector was extremely hard to find. It just happened that one of my friends happened to have the correct Molex connector in his spare parts bin, which was extremely helpful. Thank you, Dylan Urbany. He was on a previous video of mine. I'll put that link right here as well. He's a good guy. Has an insane build. He's rebuilding again, so I'll do another video on that in the future. It is very easy to use. It works very well. It's a small unit. You just have to, one of the things I don't like is that you have to run a lot of wires to it. Some other ones you don't have to run as many wires to it. So it's a little bit, it doesn't mount in your dash or anything. It's not as slim as some of the others. You kind of want to put it in the location that's maybe a little more hidden than some of the other ones. But it does an extremely good job. I'm very happy with it. If you're thinking about getting it, I highly recommend it. There are a couple other good ones like the Rockford Fosgate 360.3 or 0.2 or 0.1. There's a few of those. I think that Audio Control makes one. There's some very good, Audio Control definitely makes one, or 2 or 10 of them. There's a lot of good companies for this. The DD Audio one is on the higher end side of it. I haven't used any others, so I can't honestly say if it's better than any of the others or if it's not. Given that it's more expensive and given DD Audio's reputation, I'm sure it uses slightly higher quality components than some of the other companies, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to audibly tell the difference between this and any other digital signal processor. However, if you already have it, or if you're just a DD Audio fan, you like running DD Audio equipment, I highly recommend this processor. Or if you just want this processor, I highly recommend it. You can find them used pretty cheap, get a good deal on them. I think I got mine for probably about half price, and it came with the remote as well. So I have that all set up in my vehicle. I really like the preset method, although most of them do come with preset methods. I need to mess around with it a little bit more, but like I said, if you're going to do this, I highly recommend doing it with an RTA or on a meter so you can see in real time the output of all of your speakers. Run pink noise through it. You'll be able to see the output of all your speakers across every frequency. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to any of you guys who are looking for more information on the DD Audio DSI-1. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. If you like the video, please give it a big thumbs up, and please comment down below of anything that you guys would like to see. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.